Hiya, this is Claire from My Mature Student Life, and thank you very much for coming back. I'm really sorry that we've had such a long delay. Today's video, though, is called Students in Crisis, so you can kind of guess what's been going on, I would imagine. I have been to hell and back over the past few months, and I thought it was really important to share with you guys how I've come through that as a student, as a mum, as a worker, as everything that's going on, and share that even though we experience crisis or heartbreak or whatever it is possible to still put one foot in front of the other, and it's still possible to live and survive and live kind of a happy life and return to normal. So for me, a couple of things happened over Christmas. First thing that happened was my dad had a stroke just before Christmas, and the second thing was that just after Christmas, my husband was rushed into LGI for an emergency surgery on his heart for an aortic dissection, which is pretty much as bad as it gets. He had an extensive surgery to replace a part of his heart, and I was told as his wife that he might not come through, and if he did come through, he might be different. There might be long-term impacts. James has lost his eye, and there were other things going on for him in terms of health. But for all intents and purposes, he's making a really good recovery. He's doing really well. So for students, we're mature students. That's what my focus is. In the next 3 years, we have families, we have husbands, we have wives, we have children. Over this, the 3 years that you're doing your degree, something could happen. And, if anything, this situation has taught me that you literally do not know what's around the corner. Anything can happen. So how did I cope with that? How do you return to normality after facing such a life-changing situation? And for us, it was life-changing. I think, as a family, we've been to hell and back over these past 3 or 4 months, and it's been the hardest experience of my life and frightened me to death. Is it, if I'm really honest? And I'm smiling today, but I'm 4 months down the line, and I'm only just really being able to start talking about it. So, a couple of things that I learned from this, which I think was so important to share. The first thing is be organised. I missed all my assignment deadlines in January, and I missed an exam, of course. However, because I was so organised in the term leading up to that, I'd already pretty much done my assignments, so I was pretty much there. I was in no fit state after that to be starting to think about anything to do with assignments. My head was empty, and I was just in a real mess. There was no time. I was in hospital every day, and even the aftercare, looking after my husband when he come home, it was so intense. So I rung my university straight up, and they were amazing. They just issued long-term extensions pretty much straight away and just said take as much time as you need. And once again, another instance where a small university is fantastic at looking after their students. So if you are thinking about big or small universities, I'm always an advocate for small, because for us as mature students, I think we need that little bit extra sometimes. So yeah, I was super organised, and I handed in my assignments, on the extension day, on the extension deadline, and I still got distinctions. And I wouldn't have done that if I'd have been a student that leaves it till the last minute, because there was absolutely no way that I could have done anything, even given that extension time. I couldn't have started anything. I literally looked at it and said, that'll do, and handed it in. I think there were a couple that I had hand in and still got. I think I got 80s for both of them. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that. And the other thing is, how do you come back from going through a crisis? If you are going through something out there and you're struggling, and I don't think I want to comment on your mental health. When you're in something like that, you can't see the wood for the trees. I couldn't see the future. I couldn't even think. If I'm really honest, I couldn't even think about my children. They were just off everywhere, being looked after by grandparents, because I just couldn't concentrate. So how do you recover? So what I learnt was time heals, and somebody once told me that, and I've read it as well, if you make your body do something, so like smiling, your brain follows. You can tell your brain what to do, even if you're not feeling it. And I think that's what I did. I went back to uni first before going back to work because it was the easiest of the two options. My brain was it just shut off. I didn't want to speak to anybody. I couldn't concentrate. I just wanted to be back at home because I was worried about my husband being at home by himself. But I did it, and I made my body do it, and my brain followed. And by that I mean my brain started to function again. I started to feel happy again. I started to talk to people again. It wasn't horrible being with people. I didn't get any flashes anymore when I saw ambulances, or things happen to you when you go through something like that, and it started to stop. So yeah, I made myself do things that were the right thing to do. Probably before I should, maybe. But you have to do what you have to do, and I didn't want to miss any more time from uni. I wanted to start the semester as early as I could. I missed a few weeks, but I caught up. Just once again by being organised, and I did it, and I'm still on target. I think this year to average overall distinctions or a first, whatever you want to call it. So the message is, be organised. It is possible to come back from something like that. And even if you don't believe it in yourself at that time, make yourself do it. Just do it. Go back. But yeah, don't give up on yourself, because if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I think we have been through as bad as it gets, really. So thank you very much for listening. I really, really hope this video helps somebody out there that is going through crisis, to have hope and know that it is possible to still fulfill your dream and study, even when you're balancing everything that you're balancing out there. So see you next time.